At Mental4Moto, our mission is to give the unsung heroes of Aussie motocross a voice. From grassroots racing right through to the biggest events in the country, sharing the stories you won't hear anywhere else. If you're interested in the advertising packages that we have available, or just want to show your support, please check out our website, www.mental4moto.com, and we can tailor a package to suit your needs. Now, let's get on with the show.
There were times I was lost, dark had fear, couldn't see through the rain. In the end it was clear, hit the fan. I was more than one man who was there to lend a hand. Together we'd stand, always had my back, my guardian soldier. Team pulled together, united we conquer. Blessed is he who in the name of charity carry me when I'm weak straight through the valley of darkness. Pitch blackness, the heartless, regardless, fear couldn't part us. Thick and thin, there by my side. At times we collide, but in the end we ride. Thick and thin, there by my side. At times we collide, but in the end we ride. We ride, ride.
Welcome back, Moto fans. The Mental4Moto show is back, and we've got another great show lined up for you guys. This is going to be the first of this year's VJMX shows. Before we get into it, a big thank you to our partners here at Mental4Moto, Fastline Suspension, Southeast Pools, Iro Helmets, Ultimate Toy Haulers, and the April sponsor of the Mental4Moto Motocross and Supercross wall calendars, available on our website now, Seaview Carpentry and Maintenance. And if you haven't grabbed yourself one of those yet, get in soon, because we're going to do the giveaway of our Iro helmet very, very shortly. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to drum up any sponsors for the VJMX shows this year, so if there's anyone out there that's willing to chip in and help, please reach out, even if it's just for a single episode. Between hosting, subscriptions and editing fees, each of these shows cost me a fair bit to produce, so any help, even if it's just to cover costs, would be much appreciated. And of course, you'll get plenty of promotion in return. So the start of the 2026 season has been a bit chaotic. So this episode, as you're all aware, is a little bit later than normal, and it's going to be a little bit shorter. But for the next episode, I am planning to go back to our normal format, which will include getting a few riders on for interviews. But first, as always, I'd like to introduce my co-host for the first of this year's VJMX shows, Kenny Watts. Welcome to the show, Kenny.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, Pete.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. How have you been? Did you have a good Easter?
Yeah, caught up with the grandkids. One turned one, and yeah, that was a great weekend.
Like the rest of us, did you eat too many Easter eggs and feel a little sad and sorry for yourself?
No, didn't touch them. I made sure I had a lot of liquid on Saturday at the Warrnambool races, so had a great day and night.
Yeah, and so we've got the senior Vics in Ballarat coming up this weekend. So have you been busy sort of getting ready for that?
Yeah, in the background we have been, yeah. Like same with you, with sponsors. We're down a little bit on that this year, which a little bit of a concern, but, you know, we'll push through. And I think we run a good format that, you know, when the support's there, it works really good. So hopefully, you know, we've got a couple to come on board. We've got MX Store back on this year. You know, a friend of mine from Queensland's give him a ring, and he jumped back on board and supporting the Vics again, which is cool because they were sponsors back during the COVID affected season. So got them back on board doing the seniors, and yeah, hopefully between them and us and yourself, we can promote the sport in a great way and make sure that the war going overseas doesn't affect us too much. We want to keep our racing going and have some fun.
Yeah, 100%, especially with talk of looming restrictions and rations and all that. I just want to keep the racing going. It's been a great start to the year so far, and obviously we'll talk all about the junior Vics at Colac shortly. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't impact any of the upcoming rounds. Have you heard anything through MV or anything in that regard, or is it going to be business as usual this year at this stage?
No, business as usual at the moment. Just hopefully, that they can keep the fuel. You know, everyone goes through a bit of a buying spree. In COVID, it was toilet paper, and with this one, it's diesel. So it just seems to be they find something to work out that it's going to be short and in demand. So yeah, I don't know. It's disappointing the way it's going at the moment.
I totally agree. One of my riding buddies posted yesterday. He just filled up his transporter, and it was like $585 worth of diesel. I nearly fell off my chair. Thankfully, my van's petrol, but yeah, I'm not envious of the guys that are running diesel cars at the moment.
We'd just be grateful that we don't have diesel motorcycles. So that's the win for us in our sport, I suppose.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Well, before we get on to the juniors, I just wanted to ask again for the seniors, are we going to run similar formats to last year with like MX3 and have the qualifiers for MXGP?
Yes, yeah, MA's asked us again to do that. So the first 3 rounds, we've got to name our list of riders after the third round, which will be at Rosebud, I think, yeah. And then we can start giving those families that better lead up time into the daunting trip of going to Darwin. So
yeah. And is it going to be the same? So the top 5 get invitations, and then it works its way down if anyone can't make it?
Yeah. So we'll go through that process. They've got to be licensed Victorian riders. So we do have visiting riders coming in and racing, but they've actually got to be licensed through Victoria to be eligible. And then we just go down the list, because some riders, hopefully, maybe podium riders in MX3 at Pro MX and get a wildcard invitation to race MX2. So, and then last year we had a couple of riders, their focus was on Supercross. So we went down the list a little bit more, but yeah, just get them there for the experience and everything else. It's a cool event to go to. So.
Oh, fantastic. All right, let's move on to Colac. Last year we had the senior Vics there. It was a mudder. We had the Westerns there a few weeks before the Vics. That definitely turned into a mudder after a beautiful start to the day. But for the junior Vics, mate, couldn't have really been much of a better weekend.
Yeah, no, it was perfect, wasn't it? It was, club worked a treat, and again, supporting clubs nearby jumped in and give a hand again. Every club, it seems to have a small crew of volunteers, and without those supporting clubs, neighbouring clubs helping out, it just makes it a lot harder than it needs to be. So, yeah, thanks to those people that stepped up again. It's excellent.
Most definitely. And I think the most obvious thing about round 1 of the Junior Vics, before the bikes even hit the track, was just the number of class entries. Like it was hard to find a parking there. I think I looked before, we had 350 class entries. Like, that is phenomenal.
Yep, that's getting back to the heydays of big numbers, full classes in the 65s, and C-grade 65s was a full class, and then some great numbers in the other classes too, which just, and everybody's turning up with massive caravans and, the big diesel thirsty vehicles. So it takes up a lot of room in the pit area when you get that many there on that Friday night. So.
Yeah, and I think the only state not represented was Queensland. So they were coming, from all over Australia. We had WA riders, Northern Territory riders, and as usual, like heaps of Tasmanians, heaps of South Australians, and a handful of New South Welshmen as well.
Yeah, it was. And the bloke from Darwin, I'll just quickly give you the heads up on this one. The family from Darwin come down, and it said the road's closed at Catherine, so he just drove around that. And he went through something like 17 or 18 road bridge underwater crossings. So it was a gutsy effort getting down here.
That's
and
commitment.
Then his bike blew up too. So.
Oh, you'd be gutted. Are they staying down, or are they was it just a one-off for them?
That was a one-off, but their family's from Colac, so they come home and took advantage of the motorbikes and catching up with the family and everything else all in one. So I have not heard if they're even back there yet, because it's been flooded up that way. So
it's crazy. We're in drought. They're in flood.
That's right. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So following the trend from last year, we're not going to go through every single class. I've come up with a list of standout riders that sort of caught my eye, and some standout classes as well, and I'll ask you to sort of chip in with some of your thoughts. But I'll get the ball rolling. So for me, one thing I did notice was that there was quite a few classes that had riders that just had a perfect day. and that was definitely a standout. So after I went through the results, I think I counted 7 riders that went 1-1-1 in their motos. So definitely want to give props to them. Job Dunn, who we can talk about a little bit more in 250A. That is an absolute killer's class. That's also one of my standout classes, but how good is he looking right now?
Yeah, I've heard he's been doing a bit more training this year than previous. So it's showing dividends like straight away. It was amazing. He actually he was a wild card for us in Darwin and put in a great effort up there. And that may have been the start of him realising his true potential, and the family, I think, have always been supportive of him. But yeah, he seems to be putting in a little bit more effort at the minute, which is really good.
Yeah, I wasn't at Darwin last year, but I noticed at VJMX he just seemed to find another gear, and he looked a lot more aggressive on the bike, and that seems to have carried over now into to this year again.
Yeah, confidence coming from that, I think, and how well it went. And when you're on a high, and then you come to the Aussie Juniors, and then he had a great Aussie Juniors, and it's just, continuing to grow, which is really good.
Yeah.
Rate him high. So.
Oh, for sure. Mason White in 125 C grade went 1-1-1. Do you know much about this kid? I haven't actually seen his name before.
No, so I think he's from out Mafra Sale area.
Yep.
And he did stand out.
Yeah.
But he was on fire. I thought he rode really good.
Yeah. Willie Orders, 85 B grade, 1-1-1. He's another rider that just seems to have stepped it up, and that's just awesome to see because he had a pretty horrific injury last year. He had pins and rods hanging out of his arm at the end of the year. Yeah. He turned up at Ballarat at the Junior Vics just to watch, and even like looking at his arm now, it's not quite the shape that it's usually meant to be. But I mean, he's just picked up sort of where he left off before his injury.
Yeah, I think he looked like he was going to be the kid that took that next step, and then the injuries did jump in the way for him for a little bit. But it's good to see him back and gelling with his bike and coming out and having that. That was really cool.
Yeah. Claire Pollard in the junior girls absolutely dominated. I think we had 6 junior girls there. It would be great to see a few more girls on the gate, though.
Yes, and she's from New South Wales. So, yeah, she rides for Lee Hogan's BCP program. Steps it up and, rode that Honda pretty good, Pete.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know what they've got going on with that program, but it seems like every rider that gets on there at the beginning sort of disappears for a couple of months and then comes back, noticeably better. And I feel that's, how Claire Pollard's gone as well. She was strong at the Gippies, and she rode at the Pro MX as well just a couple of weeks ago. But at the Vics, just looked like a marketable improvement on last year.
Yeah, and doing that at the Pro MX, she's only doing it as a 15-year-old too. So that's pretty cool for her to get a good result at that.
Yep. Xavier Brown went 1-1-1 in the 85 small wheel C grade class. Absolutely love watching this kid. He was sort of on my list for 2 reasons. One was for the fact that he dominated, but just for style points. His no-footers over the finish line. He just looks like he's loving riding the bike. He looks unreal in his underclass gear, so he's always brightly coloured. But, absolutely having a ball out there.
Yeah, so he come into the sport as possibly Mason Ezagalis's biggest fan. And I think they may even get together and have a ride together, but he's absolutely found it this year. It was good to watch him at the region and again at the Vics. It was, and a big thank you to the family too, because they loaned us their Starlink to give management the opportunity to upload Speed Hive during the day too. So thanks to them for that. It was great.
Oh, fantastic. And the last rider on my list that had a perfect day was Max Laguirre. So another one that's cool just to see his progression in the sport. He went 1-1-1 in 65 A grade, but he's racing 65 and 85 now. But watching him come through 50s, then 65s, and now be dominating A grade on the 65 is just unreal.
Yeah, and just the confidence that he shows for a little fella. When he get even on the 85, he fairly confident out there on the bike. And I think, I'm not sure where is he like a Rosebud boy? Because he was good in the sand.
Yes, yeah, I think he rides out at Rosebud a little bit. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was really good to watch. So.
Did you have any riders that stood out for you?
Well, mate, I wanted to watch. It was like my probably highlight for the weekend was watching the 85 A grade.
Yep.
That's the class that's going to Darwin. And it was like Mason Ezagalis and Lewis J. Carafa.
So I had them.
Right up there.
Yeah, I had them as one of my standout classes as well.
Yes.
I mean, that was just, they just picked up where they were on the 65s and 85 small wheel.
Yes. And it was just like, wow, this is cool. And then just watching them out there, the confidence on the bikes now, they seem to do really good. And like Lewis J even jumping up and racing a 125.
Yeah, and doing very well on that as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So that was some cool racing watched by them two boys. And I'm not sure if the other kid that was with her, was it a young kid, Pollard from New South Wales? Brax Pollard?
Brax Pollard, yes. Yep.
222. Yeah. So he's found it on the 85 also. So
yeah, I definitely have to say,
really good.
Lewis Carafa, the thing that impressed me the most about that was he had a horrific year last year. It seemed like every time he looked like he was back to form, he'd have another injury in Supercross in Melbourne. He broke his arm again. And just to be back on the bike now, and, Mason had a whole year of racing last year and they were close, but just to be able to come back and compete at that level and for those two to be going at it again was just unreal. Unfortunately, now Mason's had an injury. So I think the next round may be a bit soon for his return. So we may have a delay in that ongoing battle. But, it was just it was cool to see Lewis actually, find some confidence, find some form and get some success on the track again.
Yeah, so he was another of our wildcards up in Darwin that put the 85s together up there. So our homework on our wildcards seemed to do well and pushing our expectations of where we thought they'd end up was, they achieved that and probably done in some situations better than we thought they would have. But we were wrapped for that, and to see them come out this year was pretty cool.
Yeah,
the wildcarders, and then like seeing Lewis and Mason step up into, mate, Lewis done it last year, but he had his season affected with injuries, and as you said, but then from both to step up into the 85 big wheel and be, dictators straight away, that's not really what you should be doing at 12 years of age.
No, and for Mason, his first
14.
year, his first year on the big wheel, and he's already up front.
Yeah. Yeah, the 85's not an issue, but now you just realise how good that 85 big wheel can handle for him. So
yeah. Well, there's only 1 point separating them after round one, which of course Lewis took out by the 1 point, and hopefully we see Mason all healed up and watch them battle for the rest of the year very soon.
Yeah, and there's some other boys in there too that in that 85 big wheel class that are not that far behind them either, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, definitely. A couple other riders that I wanted to give a shout out to. Max Andrews in 125B ended up second, I think, in class, but just caught my eye because of the way he was riding that 125. It's like a 125 is meant to be ridden. He was just, on the dinger the whole time and just, absolutely shredding. So I wanted to give a shout out to him. And Joby Beveridge as well, fourth in 125C grade and fourth in 250C. He won the last moto, but just, seeing his progression through the weekend, winning the moto, and he did something pretty special on the weekend as well that sort of got our attention, didn't he, Kenny?
That's right. Yeah, so he went down in the first corner with another boy, and he went to get up and ride off and looked over and seen the other boy was stuck under his bike. And just laid his bike down and helped the other kid up. And once he was okay, he got up and rode off. And I think that was the turning point for his weekend, because once we started watching him a little bit more, he pulled in a blinder weekend after that. That one race affected him, but the rest of his racing for that weekend was awesome. So well done to him. It was a good thing to do it, even at a state level, to put your race to the side and make sure that your fellow team rider is not burnt for starters by the exhaust, and that he was okay. And then once he knew he was right, he rode off. So good on him. Good kid.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got some $200 Peter Stevens vouchers, and I'm going to be giving one away after each of the junior rounds. So for that effort and for that sportsmanship, Joby Beveridge is going to get the first one for round one. So well done, Joby. I'll have that for you at round two to give you. So congratulations and well done, mate. That's what we love to see.
That is awesome, Pete. Congratulations, Job, and thanks, Pete, for that. It's something that you can't be underestimated. What they do when they, get in that process, and sometimes you just gotta, put the race to the side and help out that rider just in case they are getting burnt or something like that. So.
No, most definitely.
That's cool.
Before we move on to the standout classes, did you have any other riders that you wanted to mention?
To be honest, you've named a lot of them that I was keen on watching them race. Max Andrews, he's actually taken advantage of that 16-year-old or the under 17 125 age ruling that's in place. So I actually seen him race at Ballarat last year, and he was a standout at that, and he was good to watch. That's how I enjoyed watching him ride around.
Yeah, there's an interesting dynamic with him with the grading now because he's I think he's just turned 17, so he's racing the 125 at the juniors, which is obviously allowed now with the age ruling, and he's B grade as a junior, and he's stepped up to senior, he's racing C grade as a senior on the 350 at the seniors as well, which is it's just an interesting dynamic. It's sort of something I hadn't thought about.
In fairness to the kids, we put this in place because if a rider has a outstanding season and gets put up into B grade or A grade, whichever grade it is, in fairness to the kids below them, we had to make sure that they maintain their junior grading.
Yep.
So it was fair for everybody else involved. So, Max got graded to B grade last year. Although he went to C grade senior, he still maintained that B grade junior grading in fairness to every other kid that's around him. So we made sure that was put in place. Like, they run their senior number, which is irrelevant, but they run their junior grading still. If you get graded in that last year of your juniors, well, what used to be your last year of juniors when you're turning 16, and then, you maintain that for the following year. So,
all right, standout classes, 250 A grade. Now, this could be an MX3 Pro MX class. It could be a list of your top 10 at VJMX. Like, when I look down, I think you get to 13th, 14th. They're all heavy hitters in this class. It is a phenomenal class to watch, and the riders in it, I think, are the future of our pro class in Australia.
Yes, yeah, and like the visiting riders from other states that come across also. They've been successful in their states and also at Aussie Juniors too. Probably one that was interesting on the weekend in that A grade was Dylan Grumble on a Stark bug.
Yes, yep. So he's been racing that his second year on the Stark, but he rips that thing.
Yeah. So that was interesting to see how he went there in the sand. So
yeah, unfortunately, the last moto, I think he had a bit of a mishap, but he went 3-3 in the first two motos. So, ended up, what's 4 points? 16th? 18th in the last one. So, that was a bit of a disaster moto for him. But,
sorry, I was going the other way around. Did you say 4 points?
4 points.
Yeah, it's probably 16th.
Yeah, so 16th in the last one. Bit of a disaster moto for him there, but, great in the first two, and I imagine he'll pick that up again, in the upcoming rounds.
Yeah, might have run out of battery.
I didn't want to say that, Kenny. But yeah, it's
cards.
Yeah. Other riders in this class that I just wanted to give mention to, West Australian Ollie Burkett. He's one of the future prospects of the sport. Nate Short, great to see him now on the 250. He's concentrating just on the 250 this year. Return of Noah James. So
Yes, that was good to see him back. Yeah, because he had a bad back injury. So
broke his back last year. Mitch House, the number 34, like
he was on fire early. Did he have a bike issue in one race or something? So I thought he was right up there because I've been watching him a little bit in the lead up to this
second
event.
moto. Yeah, second moto.
Had one bad race.
11th in the second moto. So, obviously had an issue in the second moto.
Yeah.
But like last year, he was a good rider, but definitely didn't stand out. This year, I saw him at the Gippies and he was just phenomenal. And then has carried that form into the Vics as well. 6 overall for him, even with that bad second moto. But, I mean, he looks unreal, and I think it's not going to be long before he's battling for a podium in this class, the way he's riding at the moment.
Well, when you take Dylan Grumble out and you take Ollie Burkett out, he was sitting fourth. So.
Yeah, phenomenal. All right, and a lot of the same riders, but 125 A grade as well. A few of the younger ones actually were represented a little bit more in this from 250A in the 125 A grade class. But Riley Delaney took that one out, and again, that was impressive. He was really good at Colac, a couple of years ago in the Junior Vics for the last round. Just a phenomenal day for him.
Yeah, he looks better. Well, not better. He got a better result on the 125 because he still rode the 250 well. But, yeah, he gelled on the 125 there at Colac, and he did really good at the Westerns a couple of weeks prior to that also. So
yeah. So for him, do you think it's the track or is it the confidence now on the 125?
Don't know, because he does a bit of off-road too, so I'm not sure. He might like a sandy terrain, I'm not sure. But they probably don't ride a 125 much in enduro, would they?
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so either. But don't know. It might be just that level of bike where he's the weight of the bike and, it's his junior career showing out riding a two-stroke a lot more. So I don't know. He rode the 250 well also, but yeah, the 125 was a standout for him, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's cool in this class because you see some of the 85 big wheel A grade riders start to find form on the big adult size bikes, even though they're 125s, which is cool. Jacob Brewer and RJ Penny from Tasmania, second and third respectively, but it's been cool watching their progression over the last couple of years as well to end up on the podium now in the 125 A grade class.
Yeah, Brewer's another one that goes well on the two-stroke, doesn't he? So I don't know where he finished on his 250, but on the 125 he was right up there.
Yeah.
Giving Riley a run for his money. So, and then you chuck in Lewis J. Carafa, who was probably not far behind RJ Penny either, I think.
Yeah, 2 points behind, so fourth overall for Lewis. So, first year on the 125. That's pretty impressive because, there's a whole bunch of big names after him as well in the standings in this class.
Yeah, and the track was rough too. So for the kids, for a little fella on a 125 getting thrown around a bit, he done really good. So
yeah. And just wanted to yell out a get well to Zane Hohouse because he had a big one over that back tabletop. I think which on the Sunday morning.
Yeah,
so,
number 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out Zane. Hope you're doing well and you're recovering.
Yeah. So I think he had a little bit of a sleep on the track for a little bit, but when they brought him back in, he'd come past me and I give him the thumbs up to see how he's going, and he looked up and gave me the thumbs back. So he knew what was going on, which is good. So I think he was given the all clear that night.
Yep.
Just that precautionary concussion side of things to have a bit of a break from it. So he comes back good as gold. Had bad luck recently with bike more than anything else. So.
Yeah, he hasn't had a good run the last couple of years. So,
no. 2 brand new bikes blew up at Colac Westerns.
Oh wow, yeah, that is
2 bikes.
Is that rider or bike?
Bike failures. I don't know what's going on there. 2 brand new Yamahas.
Well, they're not Hondas. That's the problem, isn't it, Kenny?
That's right.
Yeah, wouldn't happen if he was on a red bike.
No.
Yeah. The next class I wanted to talk about, I know it's all in line with, the grading rules and requirements. I kind of feel sorry for some of the other riders in these classes because there's some kids that are just absolutely dominating, and that is 65B and 85 small wheel B. I'll throw them together, but River Taylor, Mitch McConaughey in both classes, and Brooklyn Boyd in the 85 class. Man, how good are these kids?
They are amazing. Like, the only one that I don't have a connection to is the McConaughey boy, but knowing Cameron and knowing Shane Boyd, you sort of see a little bit of dad coming out of them in both. We had, River rocked up midway through last year and started racing, and we elevated him up a grade. And then we had the benefit of Brooklyn Boyd turning up before the season started and actually elevating him into B grade to make sure that it was a little bit fairer on the C grade riders, because they are really good riders, all three of them. So
yeah, and to be fair, they're A grade level, but they've all pretty much just started racing as well. So there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, and I only know of one kid that's been elevated straight to A grade, and that was Wade Carter, and he was 7-time Australian junior champion. So I don't want to put that much pressure on these boys, but
look, for what it's
limit if they want to have a go at it. So,
and for what it's worth, I think they're going to be in A grade very, very soon anyway. So. They're not going to spend much time in B grade for all the other B grade riders that have to circulate with them.
But at the same time, that the benefit of that being like that is they are out front, and it gives them B grade riders that challenge to step up and race with them. So, when that happens, they start dragging our B grade riders along with them.
Yep.
So they get better. And then when they go back to these other regions and things, their speed just flows down through the other riders, and the riders that are capable of keeping up with them, well, get a glimpse of them going down a straight and things like that, slowly start to become better and better themselves too. So it's a flow on.
But you're right. They get to see, where they're faster, which lines they're taking, and how they ride. And that definitely has a flow on effect.
Yes. Yeah, so that's the good thing about it. That although the B grade riders are going,
yeah, fourth is best for me.
Yeah, fourth and fifth or something.
Yeah.
But if they can sneak in a podium on one of the boys, well, awesome. That'd be the way they're aiming to do, and hopefully that's their aim is to, I want to, beat one of these boys and do it fair and square, and then the confidence grows for them too, and then they'll become a better rider also. So
definitely. So on that note, in 85 small wheel, shout out to Attila Manson, fourth overall for him. So he was the first one in behind these guys. Really, really good improvements from Attila from last year. I think he won the C grade title last year. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. He was up there.
Yep. So he's continued his improvement, and three other riders that stood out to me on the 65B grade were the ones that finished after River Taylor. Parker Matthews, little guy, just keeps improving, gets faster and more impressive on the track. Ash McPherson from Tasmania, that's the first time that I recall seeing him, but very impressive, number 56 out there.
Yep, me too.
Yep, and Isaiah Filipovic rounding out fourth place. So it's good to see him. I think they still had some ups and downs that day, but good to see him up towards the pointy end.
He seems to be having some bike issues. I'm not sure which bike it was, but I've seen him pushing it back. Whether it was just in practice and they got it sorted out, I'm not sure. But yeah, he was a dominating C grade rider, and then stepped up into the B grade, and now he's just got to get that belief back in himself again. I think a little bit of bike issues and things like that can really hamper your confidence, and then all of a sudden you start doubting yourself. So it just needs to have a little bit of luck with his bikes and keep them going, and then get some confidence back, and he'll be right. He's a good little rider, good kid.
Well, I can't remember. I think it was the second moto. He had an issue off the start, and I didn't realise until I'd spoken to you later in the day. that he was a lap down, but he was up there with River Taylor and Mitch McConaughey and holding his own for a number of laps. And I was just like, oh my God, this kid's on he's on a heater.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think he had trouble starting it. I think he put it down and then couldn't get it started for ages, and they finally got it going.
Obviously had some fire in the belly.
Yeah. So the thing is that, at this level, it's you don't want to run in and have officials starting their bikes too quickly. You got to give them all attempts to start it themselves, and like sometimes, and it is disappointing when you see it. The kid falls off, and the first thing he does is look around for an official to pick his bike up. And they just sit there waiting, and in that time they could have picked the bike up, and by the time the official gets over there, just balances them, and they could start the bike. But the bike's laying on its side a lot longer than it needs to be. So
is that because that's something that happens at like the regional level?
Oh, I think so, and even at practice days, they just. Dad will run over and pick him up, and so then he's looking for Dad to pick him up more often. I think, even when they're riding at home, they need to be just encouraging their kids to get up and grab the bike and make every attempt to start it themselves before an official will help them. So,
yeah. All right. Were there any other classes that stood out to you?
No, not really. We've talked about a lot about them. I did enjoy the 50s, though. I enjoy watching the 50s because they just seem to have I don't know how the dad does it, but the throttle seems to be stuck on from when the gate drops until the checkered flag, and then it seems to back off and it just seems to remedy itself immediately straight after the checkered flag. It's just flat out. And then they are good to watch, the little 50s, when they, you get them, the ones that can hold it on. And there was one little surprise packet there was young Louis Tuddenham. I thought the dad had definitely jammed the throttle on because he had the whole shot and was gone. I thought, is everything all right? And then, no, it was good. He had a day out, which is cool.
Yeah. In the 50 class, how good was Riot de Groot? Like I remember seeing him at Sandmasters 2 years ago, and even at the Vics last year and a couple of the regional races, and he just looked like a kid that just liked riding dirt bikes, but wasn't sort of chasing the win. And between now and then, something has obviously clicked for him. And
did he get all 3 wins?
I think he had a miss. I think he had a crash in the last one. Yeah, so he went 1-1-2, but definitely has the speed to win them all. Yeah, he's got the eye of the tiger, that kid.
Yes, yeah. Now, there's like the little 50s. It is cool watching them when you see the ones that the throttle's jammed on. They just fly.
Yeah, and they had a bit of a mishap with the gate as well. I think one kid went early, and they all went early after that. So they ended up having a restart.
And they done a restart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was kids crashing into the gate, stuck in the gate, tangled in the gate, kids that rode over the gate. It was all. I sort of asked Hancock what happened there, and it was just chaos.
They thought there was a gate malfunction when 10 50s are holding it up. It stops it from dropping, doesn't it?
But no, it was good for a laugh anyway. If you weren't the kid racing, I wouldn't have liked to have been the kid that actually ended up getting the whole shot and then having to go back and restart. But
yeah.
No,
it's like they're 8 minutes plus a lap, so they could be out there for 11 or 12 minutes, and they'd already been out for 2 laps. Was it 2 laps before they red flagged it?
No, it was almost straight away.
So they'd done a lap.
Yeah, 1 lap. Alrighty. Well, that's pretty much all I had for Colac. So our next round is on the Anzac Day weekend for the juniors out at Traralgon. What are your sort of expectations for Traralgon?
I love Traralgon. It's a great track to watch as a spectator and commentate, and even I've been there and done it as an official. It's a good viewing track from down there at the clubhouse and everything else. So
another sand track.
Beg your pardon?
Another sand track too.
Yeah, but not as sandy as Colac.
No, not quite as soft as Colac.
I like Traralgon. It's good. I've only been there twice myself, so yeah, I enjoyed being there the 2 times. So
Yeah, it's one of my favourite tracks to race. We had the Senior Vics there last year. It got super, super rough because it was one of the preemptive rounds before the subsequent Pro MX round. So we had a lot of the pro guys there last year. So it got crazy rough for the Vics. I'm not expecting it to get quite that bad for the juniors, but it should produce some really, really good racing. And we had a Gippy there earlier this year, and yeah, it was a great weekend. So looked for a repeat of that.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. And, their infrastructure has been, since the last time I've been there, I've heard that they've got a new toilet block and everything else too now, so which is cool. And investments getting back into their venue, which is what we need,
Yeah, the facilities there now are as good as any motocross track. So, it's great to see that sort of development at club level as well.
Yeah, and good little club. Seemed good canning, rocks on, and I've enjoyed it the 2 times I've been there. So,
all right. Well, we'll wind that up now. Of course, I'll see you on the weekend at Ballarat. I'm looking forward to a good weekend and for things to kick off for the seniors.
Yeah, let's hope that everything plays in our favour and we have a great weekend. We'll sneak out Saturday night, and I've got your pants that you purchased from our fundraiser, and I've got some more goodies in line for this year already, thanks to Yuriv Konski and a couple of the Honda riders. Yeah.
Fantastic. You were doing the rounds and getting the goodies at the opening round of the Pro MX, which was great to see, man. You're always advocating for these kids and trying to, give them a leg up to get to these great events like the MXGP. So, thanks, Kenny. I mean, the stuff that you do behind the scenes definitely doesn't go unnoticed.
Yeah, and I've done a little bit of homework with a couple of different companies too this year. So hopefully they all honour their commitment, and I might even try and get a Nato Crawford Honda jersey signed for me. So see how that goes. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different seeing him on the red bike in the coming weeks.
I won't mind.
He's come home, Kenny. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. I honestly don't know is that the only brand bike he's ever. No, because he actually rode for 114 Honda over in Europe with Bailey Malkowitz.
You're right. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. There you go.
He's back.
Yeah, I'll try and get a jersey because that'd be pretty cool.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, that brings us to the end of this episode. Like I said, next time we'll do some rider interviews and we'll get some riders on after the Senior Vics for their show as well. If you like these shows, you know the drill. Please like and subscribe and share to your stories so we can keep growing the sport. Massive thanks, Kenny, for coming on to co-host. It's always a blast, and I'm looking forward to doing 7 more shows this year with you. And to our partners here at Mental4Moto, Fastline Suspension, Southeast Pools, Iro Helmets, Ultimate Toy Haulers, and the April sponsor of the Mental4Moto Motocross and Supercross Wall Calendars, Seaview Carpentry and Maintenance. And just a reminder, you can actually pick them up at the Victorian Motocross rounds. So, if you're after a calendar, go see the Thrill Therapy stand, and they will have some calendars there that you can purchase. And most of all, thanks to you guys for listening. On behalf of Mental4Moto, I've been your host, Pete Wolf. Until next time, see ya.